All right, premium Remette overview round 2 fights. This is on loan from the Tristate collection, which was provided to him from Remette. Here we are. He let me check out a few of them, do a little review, share them with all of you. This is number 2. I will link the first one and the initial overview of all of them that he sent down in the description there, but let's get to it. So this video is brought to you by Remette and Tristate. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment down below. All right, that Kingfisher Remette was the one I looked at last time. I really enjoyed that. Today, we're looking at the Chameleon. All right, get rid of that stuff on the floor. Here it is, Remette Chameleon. Oof, boom. Look at this special one today. I tell ya. Wow. Soak it in. I kind of had a chance to handle these, check them out for a few days, give them a kind of a test drive, see what I think about it. I have good pros and some cons. But what are we looking at here today, Kenman? So the Remette Chameleon has an M390 blade right there. A nice kind of a, I don't know, satin smooth finish. Real nice and elegant look. And then we have a flame blue titanium handle. So this handle's all titanium, and you can see that lightning kind of flamey lightning bolts going through it. Basically what they did with that titanium is essentially, I don't know exactly the way they did it, but one of the main ways you would do this would be to heat the titanium up and then quench it into like a ferric chloride or some type of a chemical that then will cause that natural reaction. But you can see those lightning bolts kind of go all the way around the whole back spacer, all that titanium, and even the pocket clip. Real nice matching touch. I enjoy it. Cool look. I may try that out in the future. It has an Axis style crossbar lock. I think they call it the axle lock from Remette. Thumb studs. Lock works good. Can flick it out real easy. I would say one of the things is the detent. Because you're using the detent of the crossbar, you can see. I'm not sure if they have these. Like on the Kaiser clutch lock, you actually have a couple of different areas that you can go in and change the tension on the spring. So you'd be able to kind of adjust that. It is kind of loose though. Other than that, like if you look at the detent, it kind of feels like it pulls, but it pulls it in nice. But it really plays out. It does, like you can almost use it as like a talk. But it's kind of hard to. It would be like a small bird talk like this, or something. I'm sorry. Feels great in the hand though. Excellent little choke up spot. I would say if anything, this titanium, you got that kind of texture right there. That's nice. That's milled in, but it feels kind of smooth, almost slick, a little slippery. It almost wants to slide out. It's not like it does, but it just feels like it does. It kind of has this greasy kind of feel to it. I'm not really a fan. It just feels like it wants to fall out a little bit more. The other thing I notice, you may have noticed as well, the way I'm using this, the action I'm using on it, oops, caught my index finger there, again, is I'm using my right hand mostly. Now this does have a clip that can be swapped to the other side, which is nice for the lefties, especially with this crossbar style lock. See that crossbar in there. I like the gold accents as well. But a crossbar style lock is meant to kind of be ambidextrous. You can grab it from either side and then that blade swings free. But what I did notice with this one is the way that this works is I have a larger kind of palm. And when I use a crossbar lock, I tend to use this, see, I take my fingers and I kind of push them against the clip. And so that kind of gives me this ability to kind of grab it and hold it and then bring it open and closed, right? The action of just that lock is nice. So in the left hand, without swapping the clip, I didn't swap it because it's not mine. I don't get to keep this, and so I'm just going to leave it as is. But I can't grab, and since this is kind of slick, it makes it a little more difficult to hold. So now I'm holding it like this, and I want to get in and use that crossbar. So what that makes me do is that makes me kind of grip it more down here with my palm. And the thing with that is especially with crossbar style locks, as you can see as I let this go, it now catches my palm right there when I'm holding it. And so if I were to just let this swing shut fast, that will come down and I'll get a little nick on my palm right there. I've cut my palm several times on this exact situation. I'm not saying it's a negative on the knife. It's more negative for me personally. If you see this in my right hand, look at that. I mean, it actually works great. So if I were to put that clip on the other side, I would have that trouble with my right hand, not my left. But it does create that situation where now I have that knife where I have to be careful. I can't just open it and close it with both hands easily. So that makes me consider it a little bit more. We will look at a couple other crossbar style locks in a moment here, and I will kind of show you what I look for in that because of my situation with my larger palms and my tendencies to want to wrap it around like that and then I just get caught. And comment below if it's happened to you. Okay, let's keep going. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. Blade sits right in the center, really nice. Solid. It's got a nice rounded spine right there. No jimps. I like a good jimp, but it has this almost kind of a harpoon kind of a situation here where it does kind of ramp up a little bit where your thumb goes. So it kind of sits and nestles in that spot nice. That choke up feels good. Pretty good, almost full size, kind of a bug out killer. Like this is like a high-end fancy Ferrari look of a bug out killer, since the bug out is practically the same price as this, but I would say this is much more of a classy. The bug out's more of an ultra light beater kind of a design, I would say personally. I don't know, everyone's got their likes and dislikes. Okay, enjoy these interesting premium unboxings. Hit the like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more. I really enjoy the lightning pattern. I will try this in the future with some titanium at some point. It's interesting. It's weird though, you don't get the control, but you can always, I think you should be able to clean it up, because like when I do an anodizing job, you can, if you don't like it, you can clean it up, sandblast it, and then start over. And so, you know, it'd be something worth finding the right piece and giving it a shot. Okay, let's get down to the credentials of this thing. Like I said, it's probably pretty close to a full size. Not quite, just under 8. So yeah, kind of more of that bug out pyrite. Just about full size, 7 3/4. Blade is about 3.5, pretty even, 3.5 looking number, and about a 3-inch cutting surface with a little bit of a curve to the belly there. And 4 and almost 3/8 for the handle. Thickness should be like 11 to 13 on blades of this size. 14. 14. You can see the way this fuller is cut. Oops, sorry, maybe if I was on camera. The way this fuller is cut, that 14, you can see it there where it sticks out on both sides. That 14 runs all the way out to there on this blade. So you've got some thickness and some weight out there, but then it drops pretty quick. And that fuller kind of relieves a little bit of weight up in there. And that curved spine actually is nice little feel. But yeah, thick. 13, 14. How about that? Handle, about a half probably, 0.52. Pretty average size, like I said, for this particular almost full size or 3/4. I don't know. 4.51. Got a little bit of weight on it with all that titanium and that big backspacer and stuff in there. I compare everything with the pyrite. Pyrite's 3.67, so it's almost an entire ounce heavier than the pyrite. Got a couple others we're going to look at. Sog Terminus 3.3, that's closer to the pyrite. Got the Hectare. CJRB is really light. This is definitely more on the bug out size, bug out weight. 2.3. We'll get all the way up here with the MSI and the RAM lock. 10 or 4.7. I'm sorry, 10. And I do have the Kaiser, this clutch lock on here. This is the Mini Towser K. This is probably my favorite knife. And it's got that same kind of lock, but I can get in there and use that and manipulate it with either hand and don't have any issues with that blade coming down to come in contact with my palm. Okay, so yeah, one last time, 4.5. It's got a little more mass on this Remette Chameleon here. Okay, so compared to the Pyrite, Pyrite's a great button lock, excellent everyday budget user. Check one out. They have many different styles, types if you're interested in a little bit of variety. They have a lot to offer in the Pyrite. Yeah, so it's similar. I'd say the Remette is just maybe an eighth of an inch longer in the blade and in the handle. Cutting surface is near the same, just a little bit longer when you match up those choils. Sticking with the CJRB, I'll grab the Hectare. This is a really nice, like I said, kind of a bug out killer. Excellent knife. I've got this one in S90V and the Ultim. Really showcases, you can see through it. You can see that spring in there. Like I was saying, some of these, they have little adjustment spots inside there, so you can take the scale off and then move that spring up, give it a little more or less tension, so that if you aren't happy with that tension, like the Remette is a little bit lighter, for those who would want it stiffer, you could go in and then crank that down a little bit. But yeah, Hectare is definitely a little bit smaller, kind of closer to that Pyrite. One of my beaters, the Sog Terminus. This one is great, really fidgety, lots of good action on it. Nice budget knife, and it's got that Axis crossbar style lock. And one of my features about this that I really enjoy is that blade. I can really squeeze around with my hand as deep as I want, and the blade is just a little bit shorter, so there's never a chance of it catching your palm. So I can freely not worry about that in either hand. Well, I got to be able to manipulate it, but in either hand without the chance of cutting or nicking my palm there. We have the Microtech MSI with the RAM lock. So this is the biggest, most overbuilt version of the same kind of situation. You've got that crossbar here, but the RAM lock has a spring in here pushing this way. They've got a little bit more going on with that Microtech, but it does work the same. I would say one of the things with this is you can see it's definitely a talker. So sometimes in the case with the crossbar, people don't like them as much because they have that kind of loose flop open, kind of a detent. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things. Just saying, Kaiser clutch lock, they really know how to do it. They're almost the same size. I suppose I didn't put the MSI down next to it. MSI is a beast. Definitely a full sizer. Dwarfs that Chameleon there a little bit. These two, the Mini Towsers, is almost the same size. It's kind of a little beefier, kind of a tank, kind of a feel to it. One last one would be the Drop Bear. This is another one. Kaiser's clutch lock version of the crossbar is just perfect. You can just see the action on this. It works every time. No issues about this coming down and catching my palm in any way. Excellent bug out killer right here, the Drop Bear from Kaiser. If you're interested in that, check it out up there. I do have an affiliate link with Kaiser. If you use that link down below, it does help out the channel quite a bit. But I like my crossbar lock style, axis lock style knives. They're fun. Check out this top shelf one from Remington, the Chameleon. Pretty cool stuff. Stay sharp. I'll see you soon.